All right, what's up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zero Fats, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. I hope you guys are doing amazing out there. It's fine Tuesday evening, guys. I want to talk about this. Hold on a second, let me fix this. I want to talk about this crazy freaking article I just read, and it's really funny because I read these articles and it's amazing to me how people find so much value in them. Like this article I'm looking at here, it's on entrepreneur.com and it's been shared 6.1 thousand times. How to start a business online. 7 tried and true steps for attracting visitors to your site and getting them to buy. It's just amazing. We're gonna look at it really quick, and I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of context on what I'm talking about. Okay, it's almost like if I find a group of depressed people and I say to them, "Hey, man, you know what? You guys are depressed. Why don't you just get a self-help book, and why don't you just find something that makes you happy and go forth and conquer? Have a nice day." I mean, it's not that simple. There's a reason why people are depressed. Well, there's a reason why people are failing at starting an online business. So it's kind of amazing, but we're going to get into these 7 steps. I just got to laugh. I just can't believe this is the kind of drivel that they put on, major publications like entrepreneur.com. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. Proven sequence of 7 steps you can follow to guarantee your success when you're starting a small business online. I've seen thousands of people start and grow successful businesses by doing the following. Number 1, find a need and fill it. Number 2, you know what? Let's take it one at a time. I'll take it one at a time with you guys. We'll go through it. Find a need and fill it. That's step 1, man. Come on, dude. That's easy. Step 1, find a need and fill it. Most people who are just starting out make the mistake of looking for a product first and market second. To boost your chances of success, start with a market. The trick is to find a group of people who are searching for a solution to a problem, but not finding many results. The internet makes this kind of market research easy. Does it? Does the internet make that kind of market research easy? That's amazing to me because, I'm on the internet like every day. And you know what I see? I see like multiple solutions for every problem I can think of. Like every single problem I can think of that people are having, like it appears like there are multiple solutions out there. So the idea of finding a need and filling it might be a little daunting for beginners. Matter of fact, that might be enough just to hang them up and keep them working their crappy day jobs for a few years because they're not able to find a need and fill it. Because it would appear that all the needs have been filled, whether they have or not. Look, the fact of the matter is, it's hard to come up with an original idea, all right? It's hard. It's not easy to come up with a brand new, original idea. But the counterpoint to that is, let's say my town has 30 pizza places in it, If I open another pizza place tomorrow on the corner down the road from my house, will I get business? And the truth is, yes, I will get business because, my town's never going to get sick of another pizza place. They're going to be okay with it. They're going to check it out and see what I have to offer. So let me explain that analogy a little bit better. Okay. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, if you have a method that works, that makes sense, it's okay that it's already out there. There are other things that go into your business being successful than just being the first person to do something. Okay. Oftentimes, the first person to try to do something, it doesn't always work. And the second person that comes behind them, they hash out the details and make it work better. And then the third person behind them hash out the details and make it work a little bit better than that. So it's kind of dumb to think You just need to find this ever elusive need in the market that's not being filled right now. Matter of fact, I just released a product not too long ago called Talk Show Empire that did exactly that. It filled a need in the market that wasn't filled yet. And that product really didn't do that good. But if I release a product next month about how to make a sales funnel that converts, it'll do amazing. And there's tons of training out there on how to make a sales funnel that converts. It doesn't matter. So then you got to ask yourself, well, why doesn't it matter? And how can I separate myself from other people if it's already out there? That's the question. And now you're entering into a land of marketing. Now you're entering into a land of what separates me from everybody else. Well, the first thing that's going to separate you from everybody else is your personality. And if we're not talking about you personally, we're talking about your business or your brand, then you have to find a personality or a definition for what your brand is. What is it, man? What is your brand about? What does it stand for? I mean, think about some of the major brands out there that Nike, New Balance. I don't know, I'm talking about shoes. Just all the different brands out there that most of them stand for something. Most of them, when you think about them, you can sum up what they are about in like one sentence. And that's not a mistake. That was a cultivated personality for their brand. So it's no mistake. You don't have to have a brand new need and fill the need. Because honestly, guys, I mean, it's hard to find a hole in the market. It's very hard. Finding this, hypothetical hole in the market and filling it is a fairy tale. It's definitely not something that you're just going to be able to do overnight. And it is step one of this article is something that's going to hold you up. It's going to hold you up from moving forward with your business. And the biggest thing that you can do wrong to keep you from making money online is not moving forward. So it's right off the bat, man, it's nonsense. Okay. Step 2, write copy that sells. Write copy that sells. There's a proven sales copy formula that takes visitors through the selling process from the moment they arrive to the moment they make a purchase. Arouse interest with a compelling headline. Describe the problem your product solves. Establish your credibility as a solver of this problem. And they list it out in 9 simple little steps for writing copy that sells. Would you guys realize that copywriting is an art form? And it takes a lot of practice to get good at it. And if you want proof of it being an art form and it taking a lot of practice to get good at, go out there and try to hire a copywriter and see how much they're going to charge you. The fact of the matter is, it's nothing to pay $700, $800 for a sales page or a sales letter. That's nothing. That's a small amount. That's a small amount. It's nothing to go out there and pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for a sales letter from a copywriter that can write copy that is proven to convert, right? So this idea of just step 2, write copy that sells, it's like very topical. You know what I mean? Of course you need to write copy that sells, or you need to hire someone that writes copy that sells. I mean, if you're going to sell something, you need copy that's going to sell it. I mean, that's to state the obvious. Create urgency. Look, step 8 on writing copy that sells is create urgency. Like, do you realize there's whole courses that have been written on how to create urgency? I mean, entire courses have been written on this subject. I mean, it's absolutely, it's comical is what it is. So how do we solve this? Part 2. Okay, so when you want to write copy that sells and you don't have money to hire a copywriter and you don't know what you're doing, first of all, I want you to acknowledge the fact it'll take a couple years to get really good at copywriting. Now, you can practice every day at copywriting, and you will get better. But there's people out there who are really good at copywriting, and they've been doing it for years. So understand that. So how do you actually do it when you're starting out? and you want to write sales copy that will convert, but you don't have money to pay someone, and you don't have time to become some kind of master copywriter, and you don't even want to become a master copywriter. You just want to sell your thing. How do you do it? Okay, so the best way for you to do something like this is you want to model success. Okay, you want to go out there and find contemporary sales letters in your space, maybe even stuff that you have bought and stuff that has worked on you. And you want to model your sales letter after that sales letter. You want to kind of copy that. I'm not saying word for word copy it, but I'm saying stylistically put it in that grain. Follow the same kind of template that they're following in their stuff, right? Change it to match what you're selling, but very closely model what they have done. And this is a really great way to kind of take a little bit of a shortcut to minimize your risk of producing copy that sucks. That's what that is. And at the same time, the more you do this, the more you model success, the more you're going to get a feel for what works and what doesn't work. Okay. And then on the back end of that, I would say this: when you write the sales letter, it's not a bad idea to have a spare. Okay. Before you launch the product, have a sales letter, but then have a spare sales letter that kind of hits from a different angle. So that way, if you launch the product and conversions are kind of low, they're not where you want them, you can switch over to your secondary sales letter and see if you can pull those conversions up. You can run a split test from the very beginning if you want and just see which one is converting better. But either way, whichever you want to do, the point is run with a spare tire. Have a spare tire waiting, so if your sales letter's flopping, you can switch it out very quickly. That's what I suggest, man, when it comes to that. But it's funny because an article like this just gives you a step 2 in a little paragraph. Write copy that sells. It's amazing. You could spend months just mastering step 2 alone. All right. Step 3, design and build your website. Hey, man, just design and build your website. Never mind the fact that people go to graphic design school for 2, 3, 4 years to become professional graphic designers to design and build websites. Never mind that. Just go ahead and step 3 it up, man. Step 3 it up and design and build your own website. Once you got your market and product and you've nailed down your selling process, now you're ready for your small business web design. Remember, keep it simple. You have fewer than 5 seconds to grab someone's attention. Otherwise, they're gone, never to be seen again. Some important tips to keep in mind. Choose 1 or 2 plain fonts on a white background. Look, this stuff is challenging for people who've never done it before, okay? Step 3, designing and building your website, is enough to chase people off, right? That will keep people between step 1 and step 2 and step 3. That's enough to keep people failing for years, okay? Now, what I will say is it's a lot easier to have a website pretty much designed for you almost. You can go to a site like Weebly or Wix and boom, 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 you can whip a website together really fast. So I think the barrier to entry for website design is a lot lower than it used to be. You know, WordPress sites come together pretty fast too, you know. The problem is when you're not technical, you know, and you need to put something on your website and you're using one of these like web page builders, whether it's Weebly, whether it's Wix, whether it's like Thrive Architect, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, sometimes when you're not technical, it doesn't take very long before you hit a problem that you don't know how to solve. Like, let's say, you know, you got a WordPress site, you figured out how to install WordPress on it, you got a theme that you think is kind of cool, and that makes sense. And now, like, you're like, man, how do I install a pop-up box? I want a pop-up box on my website, right? But for some, you don't know how to figure it out, right? You don't know how to get it up there. And when you buy this pop-up box plugin, or you get a free one, and it's like, for some reason, you can't get it to work right. So now you're hitting these technical snags, right? You don't know how to handle it. So the idea of putting step 3, just design and build your website from scratch, it's really funny. It's nonsense is what it is. Now, to counterpoint that, like, designing a website can be pretty challenging, you guys, especially when you start getting into the specifics of what you need on that website. However, I want you to take comfort in this. Pretty much everything can be overcome. A lot of times when you're dealing with a plugin on WordPress that for some reason is not working right, it's probably fighting with your theme. It's probably fighting with your theme. You might need a different theme. But if you're in love with the theme and you don't want to lose the theme, then you might need to find another plugin that'll do the same job but doesn't fight with your theme, because that's generally what's happening. Plugins fight with themes sometimes and vice versa. So that's generally what's happening. Now, I can't solve every technical issue here on this video, but I will tell you this. YouTube is my friend. YouTube has solved many, many technical issues for me. And that's the truth. So between YouTube and blogs, you can solve a lot of your technical issues. And if you can't solve there what I did when I hit a technical issue that I couldn't solve, I went over to Fiverr and hired someone to solve it for me. Cost me $5. They fixed it for me. I was moving on. So now, when it comes to designing and building your website, I don't recommend hiring someone else to do it for you unless you know how to do it yourself. Because if you hire someone to custom build your website for you to make it look awesome and professional, what happens when you want to change something? Now you got to go back to that person, pay them some more money to figure out how to do it. Or even if they do it for free, like they got free updates for you or something, you still got to wait on it. You're waiting on their time now. So it sucks. I mean, if you want something fixed, man, if you knew how to do it, you could just fix it in like 2 seconds. So, I mean, listen, learning how to install a WordPress site and getting familiar with WordPress and getting familiar with how to do the plugins and stuff, that's worth your time. If you want to run an online business, it's worth your time to do that. So that's what I'd say about that. And like there's tons of tutorials out there on WordPress, and they make it pretty easy. It's not that difficult. There's so many people on YouTube trying to teach people things to get views that a lot of information's out there. So, number 4, use search engines. This is the one that made me laugh the most, man. Use search engines to drive targeted buyers to your site. Like it's just as easy as that. Pay-per-click advertising is the easiest way to get traffic to a brand new site. It's just a little pay-per-click advertising. No big deal. It has 2 advantages over waiting for the traffic to come to you organically. First, PPC ads show up on the search engine pages immediately. Second, PPC ads allow you to test different keywords, man. They allow you to test different keywords. As well as headlines, prices, and selling approaches. Not only do you get immediate traffic, but you also use PPC ads to discover your best, highest converting keywords. Look, man, you know what? This is 2018, and if you start spending a bunch of money on PPC ads, you better have a budget for it, because you're going to blow a bunch of money trying to figure out how it works. There's a big learning curve for PPC ads. It takes time and it takes money to figure it out. And that's just the fact of the matter. And if you're blowing money on PPC ads, sending traffic to your website, I hope you have a system in place to make money back, right? You better have a system in place to make money back. And I'm not talking about some affiliate marketing links on your blog. I'm talking about a way to put people on your email list and an autoresponder sequence set up in your email that is designed to engage them, to warm that list up, and then to sell them things and convert them into customers. That's what I'm talking about. Because you can convert that traffic into an email list, and now that the traffic becomes infinitely cheaper and more effective, right? But of course, entrepreneur.com isn't going to tell you that. They're just going to give you a little blurb. Step 4, use search engines to drive targeted buyers to your site. It's like, it's nonsense, man. 6.1 thousand shares on this article, man. I'm doing a video right now. I bet it doesn't even get 3 shares. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to nuke an article like this every single week because this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to become the Terminator for articles like this. It's absolutely stupid. Step 5, establish an expert reputation for yourself. Establish an expert reputation for yourself. Counterpoint, that takes time. Most people starting out don't want to spend the time. They don't want to waste the time. You saying establish an expert reputation for yourself is the equivalent of me telling people to build an audience, right? And that deters people from getting started. People use the internet to find information. Provide information for free to other sites, and you'll see more traffic and better search engine rankings. The secret is to always include a link to your site with each tidbit of information. Oh man, that's the secret? Dog, that's the secret? Put a link back to my site and every piece of information I put out there, that's the secret? Holy cow. I'm sure that is the secret that all these fine people were missing. Drop a link back to your site and every piece of information that you put out there. It's amazing. It's amazing. Give away free expert content, great articles, videos, or any other content that people will find useful. Distribute that content through online article directories or social media sites. Include send to a friend links on valuable content on your website. Become an active expert in industry forums and social networking sites where your targeting market hangs out. Look, some of this stuff is not off base, you guys. Some of this stuff is not off base. I mean, you should be using social media to build audience. That is a great way to build audience. Use social media. But it's just, it's too basic, man. It's not as simple as putting valuable content on Facebook and dropping a link back to your website. You know what's going to happen if you do that? No one's going to see your content because Facebook's going to see you have a link out to your website and your content, and they're not going to share it with very many of your friends. That's what's going to happen. YouTube. We go to YouTube. You go to YouTube and you start putting videos out that link back to your website. That's not bad, first of all. You can do that and it works, but it takes time. Okay, it takes time to make that strategy work. YouTube is a long-term strategy. Okay, those are the 2 biggest places, you know, on the internet right now, and it takes time to make the YouTube strategy work. And YouTube is all about relevancy. So the content that you put out there, you know, it needs to be highly relevant to the rest of the content on your channel. So it's an interesting dynamic. And step 5, there's a lot of, like, what they're saying makes sense in step 5, guys. But the problem is, it's like I said, man, if I walk up to someone who's depressed and I say, hey, listen, man, you're depressed. Let me fix that for you. All you need to do is find something that you enjoy doing and go do that, you know, and that'll solve your depression. No, man, no, it won't, because that's a more complicated issue than that. The depression is a more complicated issue than just finding something you like to do and doing it, right? Well, you know, establishing yourself as an expert is a lot more complicated than just freaking, you know, posting content on Facebook and YouTube and dropping a link back to your website. It's a lot more complicated than that. I wouldn't say it's more complicated, but it's not that simple. It's not that basic. It's an oversimplified way of looking at this problem. If you want to establish yourself as an expert, I'll tell you a way you can get started doing it, all right? Start a YouTube channel and start interviewing other experts in your space. Okay, they don't have to be like the top of the food chain experts. I'm talking about people maybe a few steps ahead of you. They have a small audience. You know, start interviewing these people. The more of these people you interview, the more celebrity by association you're going to build, and you're going to start establishing yourself as an expert. Now that's a real way to establish yourself as an expert. Now in your interviews on your videos, make sure you talk about your website in the beginning or at the end. Hey, make sure you visit my website if you want more information like this, boom, boom, boom. And that's how you do that. That's how you can establish yourself as an expert, all right? And on top of that, guys, it's important to be consistent. You have to be consistent. the best way to establish yourself as an expert is to be consistent. All right. All right, let's move on. What a joke of an article. Can't believe this has 6,000 shares. Step 6, use the power of email marketing to turn visitors into buyers. Really, man? Email marketing? That's what we got to do? When you build an opt-in list, you're creating one of the most valuable assets of your online business. Your customers and subscribers have given you permission to send them email. That means you give them something they ask for. You're developing lifetime relationships with them. The response is 100% measurable. Email marketing is cheaper and more effective than print, TV, or radio because it's highly targeted. All of that is true, okay? Anyone who visits your site and opts into your list is a very hot lead. That is not true. That is nonsense. Anyone who visits email to follow up with those leads, but they are not hot. They are not that hot. You know, a lot of people call those guys freebie seekers when they opt in to your list through your site. Now we're talking about buyers leads. That's a different story. But we're just talking about people who visit your site and opt in for something for free. That's not a hot lead. And you're going to have to be good at email marketing to convert those leads into buyers. And that's just the way it is. So this step 6, it's like this is topical information. And it's spoken like someone who has never walked the path. This is like someone who talks listen, guys, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, okay? And this is topical information spoken by someone who it appears, I don't know this person, but it kind of appears that they don't walk the path. And if they do walk the path, they have provided very little value here in the way of information that truly, legitimately helps people. And step 7, this is the last step for this amazing article that we're nuking right now. Increase your income through back-end sales and upselling. It's amazing, man. It's like, how do you overcome depression? Be happy. That's how you do it. One of the most important internet marketing strategies is to develop every customer's lifetime value. At least 36% of people who have purchased from you once will buy from you again if you follow up with them. Closing that first sale. See, look, listen, let's look at that really quick. Like 36% of the people who you email are going to buy from you again if you email them. It's like they're stating the obvious. It's like they're telling you something that's quite obvious. I mean, if you took the time to sell people something and you took the time to collect their email, you already know that they might buy from you again. That's what you're hoping for. So half the paragraph was spent telling you something you already knew. Closing that first sale is by far the most difficult part, not to mention the most expensive. So use back-end selling and upselling to get them to buy. Offer products that complement their original purchase. Okay, there you go. Offer products that complement their original purchase. How do you do that? Why don't you elaborate on that a little bit to give them some real information they can use? How do they create products that complement their original purchase? How should they go about this? Send out electronic loyalty coupons that they can redeem on their next visit. You're not going to build a full-time internet business with loyalty coupons that they can redeem. Well, okay, I might be overspeaking here. Loyalty coupons are not that bad of a situation, but you're not going to build an empire on loyalty coupons. You need a solid back end in place, one that involves high ticket items. Offer related you guys. This stuff is topical. So let me combat it and let me give you some real actual valuable information, okay? So let's say you sell them a special report, all right? You charge them $10 for the special report. And a special report on, how to defeat how to make a crappy entrepreneur.com article actually valuable. It's a special report. We wrote it together. All right. So how do we elaborate on that? How do we add a back into it, man? So here's how we do it, right? So we got the special report in the front end. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start adjusting access. We're going to take the special report and then we're going to we're going to convert it into a PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to do a video narrated PowerPoint presentation. And it's going to become a video videos, but we're going to do that, and that's going to become OTO 1. So our little $7 to $10 course, we can take that, make it a video workshop, and make it $47. What we can do then is we can take those same PowerPoint slides, and then we'll have them, and we're going to schedule a 3-day masterclass. A 3-day masterclass where we break this content up over 3 days. Now, the difference between OTO 1 and OTO 2 is going to be that on the masterclass, they have access to us. So they can ask us questions about the subject matter, right? Now, essentially, this is the same stuff we taught in the front-end product, same stuff we taught in OTO 1, same stuff we're teaching in OTO 2. The difference is the access has changed. Okay, so we go $7 to $10 we go $7 to $10 on the front end. We go $47 on OTO 1. We go $97 to $197 on OTO 2. We go $197 on OTO 2, and then we go $97 on DS3. Okay, so downsell 3. So if they don't buy OTO 2, we'll offer them replays on the masterclass, and that can be a $97 product, 3-day masterclass. So that is value. That is value right there, you guys. That is value, okay? What I just gave you is real value, all right? So I don't know who the 6,000 schmucks were that like shared that article because they thought it was cool, but I promise you, what you're getting right here, right now, is real value that will make you money. Now, I would love to see if I could just get 6 shares on this video, because I'm giving you the real deal from the trenches on how to make money on the internet. Please, the next time you see an article like that drivel over on entrepreneur.com, please laugh at it. Give them a bad comment. Tell them to try harder because they're not trying hard enough. Give me a platform like that. I will blow it up. All right? That's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.